Thank you, Jason and Jennifer, for doing this today. This is fantastic. I'm very honored to be here. Wyoming, still at the ranch and various other properties in Wyoming. I met Carol in 1991. Divorce support group, a bunch of whiners and complainers, the pity party, as we are. That's what you're supposed to do, right? The divorce support group. Well, anyway, as it worked out in that divorce support group, I don't know how many there were of us, but I quickly realized that Carol had a different approach. It was kind of an approach that I wanted to do. Okay, so why were we there? Carol had an easy, what I call the three-step method. What the heck just happened to me? What can I learn from that? And what do I do next? And I thought, this is a good way to approach life. What can I learn from this? What am I going to do next? And one of the great lessons I've learned in life, I'm still learning, let me put it this way, I'm still learning. Not everybody's good for me. I'm not good for everybody. I don't get along with everybody. It's very important for me, I think, that I associate myself with people that I understand, people that are going to be good for me, and maybe I can be good for them. Carol was just a natural for me. And when we were in this group, there were three of us that kind of gravitated toward each other. Myself, Carol, and another gal that showed up today, Stephanie, is here. And we kind of all gravitated together. And we spent a lot of time together just hanging out, talking. Sure, did we whine? Did we complain? It's predictable when you're in that situation. It's a traumatic time of life. But we also had, I think, the idea that we were helping each other. We were going to improve ourselves from this catastrophe that beset us. And we're going to be better people. And Carol is a great example for me to be a better person. She's a great listener. And not only was she a listener, but she understood what you were saying. And so I said, I guess that would be empathy. She had a great capacity for empathy. And she would remember stuff. She was a great rememberer. She could remember what you told her. So she was focused in. I can't remember what I had for breakfast today. And I can relate another story at the end about her empathic capacities. So, spent a lot of time together at that point in life. Jay comes along, not too long after that. Jay and I hit it off immediately, became good buddies because of not only because of his enthusiasm, but for everything in life, his zest for life. But we shared a lot of common interests too. So Jay and I hit it off. Stayed in touch over the years. Took my little girl. Well, first of all, let me say, Stephanie and Carol and I came from way different stations in life. And how we ended up together and commiserating and relating so much in this divorce group kind of surprises me. Carol already had two grown children going to college. That's where I met them. Jason and Jennifer were going to college, and so was Carol. I was raising two little girls. I had two little girls. Stephanie had no children yet, and yet we became this little trio. I think we bonded pretty well, and we bounced ideas off of each other. We listened to each other. I think it was a very positive relationship because of our differences. So Jay comes along. The Wild Bird Center comes along. That was a great place. My girls and I would take a lot of trips, and when we were getting in the Denver area, we'd stop by the Wild Bird Center and look at all the new feeds and listen to Jay talk about all the new feed stuffs, and Carol would show us all the new gadgets and all the new bird houses and stuff like that. And I would get to watch them work with their clientele. I'd get to watch them work with their customers, but they treated them like brothers and sisters. They were all good buddies, and they treated them so well. I was very impressed with that. I came down, I did a lot of real estate in my life, and improved a lot of real estate. I came down to one of their houses here, and I carpeted. I helped lay carpet one time. And if you know about Jay and Carol, I can't remember the term. I think it was Mungo. So I came down to carpet their house, okay, because I have those skills. And I was carpeting their house, and we would. And Jay and Carol had stories for everything they had. Everything had a story that was an artifact. This story was, and I love these stories. So to them it was Mungo, and to me it was, well, we got to move that because I have to carpet this room. So we spent a lot of time moving stuff from one room to the other, and I'd carpet it, and we'd move that stuff back into the next room. And so, but I don't know how long they had that house. because I was only in the house, I think, one time to carpet it. So time goes on, and then Carol has, then they have the health issue. Then there's arbor view. So then arbor view. What about arbor view? Well, let me tell you about what I remember most about arbor view. Thank Jennifer, I want to thank you for keeping me informed more. I didn't get down to arbor view as much as I should have. I tried to get down here multiple times during the year, keep in touch by phone with Carol. And it always impressed me. Carol and I would get together. And the process for our discussions was always the same. Grandchildren, children, and then health. Health was always the last issue we talked about. I thought that was kind of amazing. Because I haven't had a whole lot of health issues in my life, nothing like Carol. So, Carol had a great capacity for understanding, a great capacity for empathy, and I can give you an example of that. I knew things were getting pretty bad from the conversations I've been having with Carol. And so I came down here, and it was luckily for me because it was 2 days before she passed. And it was tough. And she was having a tough time. She was really struggling. And so most of the time I just held her hand. And she'd come around and have these moments of lucidity. And we would kind of have a conversation. But this one time, she came around and she opened up those big eyes and she glared at me like she was looking through into my soul like she could do. And she said, "How is your knee?" I just gotten a new knee. And so, there's her capacity for endurance and her capacity for empathy. She was concerned about me. She had remembered in a past conversation, I had just gotten a new knee. And so she wanted to know how's my knee. And I told her, and then she was gone again. And that was the last conversation I had with her. So anyway, thank you for inviting me. I'm very honored. And her laugh was one of the most interesting laughs I'd ever heard. And she could be forthright, and she could be very focused, and she had her opinions about everything, and she would tell you the way it was, but she would always follow it up with that little laugh, and you knew things were good.